is the Electro-Harmonix Grand Canyon delay and looper pedal. This is a relatively small multi-purpose delay pedal that's got a built-in looper. It's got a number of different delay modes as well as some very nice reverbs and some great functionality, which I'll get to when I get to the more part of this video. It's got two foot switches. So one is for bypass and this one obviously is a tap tempo. So it's a tap tempo delay that houses, it's a digital pedal. It houses digital delays but also analog sounding digital delays. A really nice reverb, a shimmer setting. It's got two multi-head kind of delay sounds too. The multi setting obviously, but also the drum setting on this pedal offers you multi-tap kind of delays with different sort of rhythms built in. And you can use the looper independently, or you can use it together with the delay, the delay effect. So it's a very versatile little delay pedal. It's not as big as I thought it was when I first saw it online in the pictures, but it is a fair bit taller than your standard Electro-Harmonix pedal. But still, it's going to save some real estate on your pedal board since it's a little bit taller to house all of the circuitry and stuff like that. It has a reasonably small footprint. It's just a small bit larger than the enclosure that they use for the B9 and the C9 and the Key9 and all of those pedals. A little bit wider, I suppose. What kind of guy would typically buy a pedal like this? Because I think this is a very usable and valuable piece of kit. I think the players who do not find enough tweakability in pedals such as the MXR carbon copy delay, which is a really great analog delay, great sounding analog delay, or the TC Electronic flashback. I don't know if that's still an industry standard, but that is a very compact multi-purpose delay pedal that's got audio tapping and stuff like that, and so no tap tempo, so it's a little bit more difficult to get around. I'm guessing the player who needs a number of different delay sounds, so tape delay, digital delay, the player who's not looking for a very big pedal like the DL4, the Line 6 DL4, the big green, delay box, or the TC Electronic Flashback X4, or even the Strymon Volante, it is a lot easier to use than many delay pedals. And it is, of course, smaller. So if you're not very picky about sound quality in terms of analog delay, if you're not a firm believer in that analog delays are the only good delays, which personally I don't think is the case anymore, because digital echoes and reverbs are very, very good, and definitely just as good as analog pedals. So it's a smaller pedal, it's easy to get around. You can also use this, which is a second kind of application. You can use this as a looper, of course, but that was not what I was going to say. You can use this to spark new song ideas or to spark some creativity, because definitely this pedal has got tons of cool settings with two parameters that are different for each kind of mode that you're on. So, and it's got tons of funky Electro-Harmonix kind of things, like the pitch delay, reverse delay, all sorts of kooky stuff that we know and love Electro-Harmonix for. So it's definitely a very creative tool. It is a pedal that is reasonably small and offers a lot of functionality for its size. Alright, so here's a closer look at the Grand Canyon pedal. Let me just quickly run you through the controls. We've got our 2 foot switches. One is the bypass switch and one is the tap tempo switch. Ins and outs, we've got stereo outs. We can hook up an external expression pedal that we can assign to different kinds of parameters by means of this push button over here. We can relocate the tap foot switch, so if this is sitting in a rack or at the back row of pedals on your pedal board, you can relocate the tap foot switch to a more convenient location. And we've got our guitar input. It's powered off for regular 9-volt DC power supply, which you probably have lying around if you're into guitar effects, but fortunately it also comes with a power supply. So this black dial is controls the matrix over here that allows you to select different modes of effects on this pedal, so delays and reverbs and that kind of thing. And these two mini dials control whatever parameter is noted in the matrix under these respective dials. So we have some overall controls over here, which are pretty self-explanatory if you've ever used the delay pedal, but let me just explain. The delay level is your mix control, so that allows you to set how much of the echoes you want to hear. Then we've got a dedicated loop level, which works only in the looper mode. We've got feedback, so the number of repeats, and we've got delay time, which I figure you will not be using a lot because we've got tap tempo, and this is going to overrule any setting that is dialed up on this knob, and vice versa. So we can choose to either use the delay or the looper or both simultaneously. So you can toggle through those three settings. We've got a moment switch. We've got tails on or off, which is conveniently located on the top of the pedal. With a lot of delay pedals, that's like an internal dip switch, and tails means that if you have a true bypass pedal and you turn off the delay, as soon as you hit that bypass switch, also the repeats of what you just played will cut off. And if you engage tails, it's not going to be true bypass anymore, but it's going to nicely finish the repeats or the decay of the reverb, which is very convenient to have on the top of the pedal. And we've got, if you're using it in stereo, we've got a ping pong button over here. So tap tempo allows you, soft touch to tap in the tempo of your song, and then by means of this little push button that controls the time division. So we have quarter notes, 8 notes, and 16th notes, and triplets and dotted variants of that. So very convenient control layout with these controls that you will probably use most. They're nice and big, and you'll probably just set and forget the little dials over here. So we've got echo, which is a digital delay. Unlike the name suggests, I think this is modeled off Electro-Harmonix's #1 echo, which is a very pristine sounding digital delay, and we can add that cool bit crushing effect to the repeats on that. We've got our modulated delay, we've got multi-head, we've got reverse, we've got the DMM, which is the Deluxe Memory Man, the granddaddy of analog delays, which incidentally was also produced by Electro-Harmonix, and their respective modulation controls will be at your disposal over here. We've got tape delay, we've got a very cool reverb, pitch shifted delay, we've got, I can barely read it, it's the shimmer effect that I used in the intro. So that has cascading octaves in the reverb tails, us another reverb sound, which is very pretty. We've got sample and hold, drum, which is kind of like an alternative version to the multi-head delay, only it sounds a little bit more, a little bit dirtier, I suppose. And we've got a doubling effect. These controls are also color-coded. The dark red text labels indicate whatever is going to apply to the delay and reverbs, and the orange labels will apply to the looper. So for the looper, besides having the loop level, we have a dry cut, we've got a dub level, and we can use fade out. So all in all, a very compact but yet very versatile pedal that is still pretty easy to use and sounds pretty good.